Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. We are the middle-aged guys. We're bullshitting about nothing. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Mouse 1.
This particular video is going to address a little-known developer, or maybe now infamous developer, known as Digital Homicide. Now, the reason why Digital Homicide has come up is because, well, over the last week, they decided that they would go out of their way and sue Steam users, not Steam itself, but Steam users. This occurred actually on, I believe, September 17th. They went ahead and they served subpoena to go ahead and follow up on what they have is an $18 million lawsuit against 100 individual anonymous Steam users. And in response, Valve went out of their way and they dropped all 20 of their titles off of Steam, which I got to say, no surprise. Now, if you're not familiar with Digital Homicide, they're a particular developer based out of Arizona that was founded back in 2014. Currently on the market, they have released, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 titles over a little over 2 years. Now, if you think about that for a moment, that gives you a little bit more than a month and 2 weeks for each and every title. Actually, in some cases, even less than a month for each title. So these guys pretty much went out of their way, and they're a very low-budget indie developer studio that isn't concerned at all with quality. They are the definition of a shovelware assembly line producer. And they went out of their way, and they've put out these games that are very cheaply produced. A lot of it consists of, early pre-made assets that are prepackaged, put together, reskinned. A lot of their games reuse assets from previous other games, and they go ahead and they put them out and say, oh, this is a brand new fucking game. No, motherfucker, this is the exact same game that you put out a month ago. And like I said, they were established in 2014, and they already have 21 published titles at this time in less than, a little bit more than 2 years. So every game that they put out only takes about a month. So what happened was that Jim Sterling, who's a very well-known YouTube reviewer of games, I'm not a big fan of him myself, but that's another story altogether. He went ahead and he's been a very vocal detractor of Digital Homicide. Well, what they did was that these guys went out of their way and they sued Jim Sterling. They went ahead and they sued him for originally $15 million in damages and lost revenue from bad reviews from on their games. Completely dismissing the fact that they're piece of shit games. All right, so they sued him initially for $15 million, but then at the end of the full filing, the amount grew to $18 million, and then they went ahead and they decided to sue the Steam users, saying that they have over 2 years worth of 2 years worth and hundreds of examples of abuse and bad mouthing, all because folks went out of their way and they look, people aren't very courteous when they go ahead and leave reviews, but let's be honest, these are piece of shit titles anyways, and I'm going to be really honest that's what they are. And then, after they decided to go ahead and sue Steam, Valve pulled all of their titles off of the Steam marketplace, and they are now pursuing legal action against Valve and Steam themselves. Gentlemen, I'm going to quit monopolizing everybody's time. What are your thoughts on this particular situation? Silence. Either that or folks are wondering whether or not there's a cork that's about to pop off. And if that's going to happen, let me reload first before you go off and do that.
I can't even bring myself to rant about this because it's comedy. It's so much fucking comedy. Oh.
You know, I am starting to really get tired of this special snowflake generation. And the very fact that if you have a game, you put out a game, and 99% of the comments about that game says that the game sucks. I mean, yeah, you'll get those occasional people that say a game sucks and it's not. But when the majority of your comments on the game that says it's, and I can't remember off the top of my head, there was a video, I think that was like one of the first games that they put out, that zombie game. What was it called?
The Slaughtering Grounds.
Yeah.
That was put out on Halloween of 2014. It's a first-person survival horror game, which they went ahead and they put out under, let's see here, it was under the development of Imminent Uprising and published by Homicide Studios. All right. Excuse me, Digital Homicide Studios. Yeah, that's the very first game that they put out.
And it got to a point to where, you know, they were trying at that time to sue people because of the comments of the game.
Yeah, so, it actually aggregated to, like, I think a 5 out of 10 average on Steam. I'm not sure what it has on Metacritic. Let me see here. Quick Google search right now. Slaughtering Grounds PC reviews is a 0.7 user score on Metacritic. It didn't even register a 1 out of 10.
Look, you can go on YouTube and you could freaking look. You go on YouTube and you can look at the game. You can look at the people that are reviewing the game, and everything that the reviewers say. I mean, it is a shit. Straight up shit game. Garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, straight garbage. It's like that damn, what's that game? Big Rigs. Big Rigs looks like a 10 out of 10. I'm serious. It's that. And you have the, go ahead. I'm going to explode.
I will tell you right now, as somebody who works in a, I'm not saying this just to go ahead and come from a point of reference or something like that. But as somebody who works QA for a developer that does, you know, mobile applications and stuff like that, you know, mobile games don't tend to be very robust. But I tell you what, even the ones that are free to play that are very, very simple in mechanic and stuff like that, we don't shit them out in less than a month.
I mean, just like you said earlier, the only way that a company can shit out games, 21 games in 24 months. There are companies that out there that don't make a game for 5 to 8 to 10 to 15 to 18 to 20 years. And you're shitting out games, 1 game per month. All you're fucking doing is copy and pasting it and putting a different freaking, go ahead.
Let's put this in perspective here, all right? If you want to sit there and think about a published game on a major console by a dedicated development house, E.T. on the Atari 2600 was published by one guy to fit on a 4K fucking cartridge, and they only gave him 45 fucking days to do it. That is the development equivalent.
E.T. played better than these games.
E.T. had a fucking game flow. At least E.T. didn't sit there and reuse fucking Pac-Man assets.
No. E.T. had logic. You had to find the phone parts.
You understand the game, you just couldn't play it.
Yeah.
Especially as a fucking impatient child.
But look,
was one of those impatient children. I still have E.T. for the fucking Atari. I still fucking have it.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
I've beaten that game.
Honestly, I don't know how this is going to hold up in court, if at all.
Right.
I mean, this is a laughable case. I mean, so your basis is that you put out 21 games in 24 months, and they all suck, and they all got reviewed, but you don't like the reviews. You don't like what people said about your game, even though it's true.
Own up if your game sucks.
What kind of legal ground do you have to stand on?
Well, now, wait a minute. Is the judge going to play the games?
No, and that's that. No, here's the.
Yeah, the answer is no.
No. Here is the irritatingly scary thing about legislation that involves games. Okay, none of the people on the judge and the jury are not going to sit there and take the time to expose themselves to these actual and these games. The stupid thing about this is that somebody was willing to go out of their way, and there was some lawyer out there that said, hey,
I'll take this case.
This actually has a chance, even if it's fucking pro bono work. If my name is attached to it, that's marketing for my fucking firm, which is just me living out of my fucking Pinot, using my fucking smartphone and taking it to fucking Staples for faxes and shit like that.
Look, playing Ace Attorney is not going to help you.
Yeah, no, Ace Attorney, at least he had a fucking office, okay?
No, he was defending murder.
Yeah,
So he wasn't defending garbage like this.
I think the Reverend said something that's terrifying, that actually struck fear in my heart, is that the judge and the jury, depending if it's they don't know enough about video games or the industry. And the sad part about it is that looking at it from that perspective, from somebody outside of the video game industry, as a jury or a judge, they can look at hang on, let me finish. They can look at this as, these guys went on a campaign to ruin the reputation of, Digital Homicide, and you can see it from that standpoint. See, and there are people, there are jury, and there are judges that don't know anything about video games, and under that basis alone, that there's a case.
But
that part
is that you can put it on the same line as any other business. When you think about it, it's like, wait a second, especially if it's going by what you said, reputation. I'm going to sue this restaurant because I didn't like their food. Their food sucks.
Actually, it's more apt that a restaurant would sue a Yelp critic.
Yeah, that
a group of Yelp critics, because they all sit there and say, "Hey, look, avoid this place like it's got a D rating on from the fucking from the Food and Agriculture fucking review board or those guys." The scary thing about it is this: is that there's been some really stupid legislation that's gone on involving video games. There's a few indie games where the judge went out of their way, and they were like, "Oh yeah, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take it on authority," and all they were using was a fucking blogger or a fucking reviewer, because one game sued another game for copyright infringement and stuff like that. And they were like, because XYZ fucking bloggers online sat there and said that this game is a clone of this other game, we're going to go ahead and rule in favor of that, which is really fucking stupid. The problem with this particular thing here is that the thing about entertainment media, whether or not it be music, whether or not it be books, whether or not it be film, whether or not it be opera, whether or not it be movies, any sort of entertainment media out there, or any sort of media that are, or anything that's used for your leisure or casual entertainment or anything like that is going to be subject to criticism, all right? And whether or not you like it or not, Digital Homicide, critics exist out there. And critics, if they are credible or going to be credible at all, they are going to go out of their way and offer their opinion as honest as possible. Now, whether or not critic is a paid critic or a user, you can sit there and go out of your way and say that, well, things just, these people don't get it. But if the grand majority of the critics out there all fall within a particular trend, then you've got to stop and ask yourself, well, maybe there's something wrong with my fucking product. Okay.
No, let me tell you something. Yeah, that makes sense to the logical people. But just like the theme said in the previous videos, you're trying to explain this to people
who may not follow logic.
You're trying to explain. That's why I'm sitting here and I'm like, you're going through it. And I'm like, I said this before. You're trying to explain shit to irrational people to think that some rationale will come into their brains and be like, yeah, that shit makes sense.
And the sad part about it is that Digital Homicide, they might actually win the case.
They obviously have some sort of viable stance on here. Otherwise, a lawyer would not have taken the case.
That's the confusing part. A lawyer is actually taking.
That's what I said. That sent chills down my back.
Harvey Birdman. Shit.
Your Honor, I will submit to you that all of them were under the influence of certain things. Let's just look at the video footage.
This, did you get that thing I sent you? But look, the fact that this is going to court.
Let me tell you something. Maybe you guys don't know, but here recently, last about maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, no, I'm sorry, 2 or 3 months ago, they took Led Zeppelin to court because one guy said that they use a guitar riff in Stairway to Heaven that was theirs. And that was another case that was picked up by a lawyer. Come to find out that that case got thrown out after all the stuff. But the point is that I'm making is that you get these crazy claims.
First of all, it got that far.
Yeah.
The judge in order to be thrown out.
Let's go back to square one. Digital Homicide. Digital Homicide is. Let's just state the facts here. Digital Homicide put out over 21 titles in around roughly 2 years. Okay. If you go to any sort of AAA developer or even independent developer that goes out of their way and they release titles and things like that, they're asking for 18 plus 15. They're asking for and they're probably gonna sue Valve again for another 20. So they're asking for about $60 million. Okay, $60 million over 102 different fucking entities. All right, that they're asking for damages due to
hang on.
How their games have performed.
You see the problem there? How much are? Let me ask you a question. If I were to go to Steam before they got taken off, how much were their games? $1.99 a piece?
No, I think they were selling for unfortunately I can't look up the prices now, but I think they were selling for like $5 a piece or something like that.
$5 a piece. So 21 times 5, right? But they're asking for $60 million. You know what? In all honesty, there was even without all the critics saying that the game sucked, that company would never, ever, 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 ever get that much profit.
Here's the funny thing. If they were selling their games at $10 a pop, all right, they were looking to make at least 6 million downloads okay, as far as, or 6 million game sales to go ahead and equate out to $60 million, okay? Now, if they were selling their games at $5 a pop, that means they were expecting an equivalent of 120 million downloads of their fucking games sold at full price through Steam to go ahead and make that money. If they go out of their way and they look at the...
I can't
make logic out of some bullshit.
I can't wait until
that means they've got to go out of their way. If it's 21 fucking games or 20 titles, okay, they have to go ahead and sell 6 million fucking downloads, okay, of each fucking game. AAA titles don't even fucking do that.
No,
that's the point.
I can't wait until somebody, an independent developer, does this, and then the game doesn't sell that well, or if it sucks, and then they try to sue Apple.
I mean, look, dude, you got AAA games that barely sell 5 million copies. I'm just saying, to put it into a perspective.
Yeah. This is just
at $60 a piece. I mean, because what game was that here that was released that had to sell 10 million copies in order to get 5 million copies in order to get their money?
Oh, Assassin's Creed Unity had to sell 6 million copies to break even.
To break even?
Yeah.
It's funny because Shenmue was like that, the first one.
Yep.
Everybody that owned a Dreamcast at that time would have to buy 2 copies of Shenmue.
Yep.
In order for that shit to break even.
Yep.
And this, I mean, I'm just also...
What they're asking for is completely unreasonable. It is laughably unreasonable. I mean, you have the Reverend over here.
So they can say that their game sucks, and they're going to get their feelings hurt, and they're going to sue.
Well, that's a whole other topic altogether about how litigious our particular society is to be able to go ahead and realistically entertain that sort of thing. But the truth of the matter about this is this. Digital Homicide, their products sucked. It was the physical embodiment of shovelware. It was literally exhibit A through T of fucking shovelware. All right, as far as if this was if we're speaking court and litigation here. All right, so it's just asinine. For anybody who thinks about it, that this will make its way to court. Now,
I hope it doesn't. I hope it. No.
The problem is what we failed to mention as well is that if this is successful, litigated, and they get their money from whomever, that's going to open up a can of worms.
Oh, that's going to open up fucking Pandora's motherfucking box.
And that we don't want that shit. It cannot go to court, and it cannot look.
That shit has to be thrown out and laughed at.
Absolutely, ridiculed.
Here's the thing with that is that even if it does get thrown out and laughed at, a Digital Homicide isn't going to be hit with any sort of penalty for bringing up this bullshit, which is. But I guess. Kudos to Valve for sitting there and saying, hey, look, we've got a whole user base that you're asking us to go ahead and compromise, not only for, allowing them to, exposing them to a lawsuit, but also releasing all of their fucking information. Fuck you.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Generally they did the right thing.
Hey, there goes your Steam. If they're successful at suing Valve and getting money there goes the Steam box.
Yep.
Look,
there goes Steam.
People were actually.
There goes Steam. Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody who's gotten a negative fucking user review is gonna jump on that train, and they're just gonna rape the shit out of Valve.
Fuck that.
Steam will be no more.
Think about they have to be successful to make Half-Life 3. So please think about this. Do not let these motherfuckers be successful because we want to see that shit within the next 15 years.
The sad part is that people actually Was surprised that Steam actually sided with its users.
I will say this about
It's basically backing up itself more than the users.
Yeah, you know what? The thing about Steam is that if they didn't side with the users, that would have been a much bigger shit show. It's a great service, but they can't afford to lose theoretically that many people who have that sort of bad afterthought or preconception of their of the product in their mind, so Steam did what Steam was expected to do.
Wait a minute, I just thought about this. How the hell do you sue an anonymous person?
Well, it's very, very easy if you sit there and you see somebody going out of their way and fucking trolling or putting all of the reviews and everything else are recorded as far as marketplace and everything else.
Fine, but who the fuck uses their name on a website?
Well, that's the thing.
They always use pseudonyms. Everybody has a pseudonym.
They subpoenaed the information for those users.
They have to dig in order to get these motherfuckers information.
But a lot of people, exactly, and a lot of people, even on sign up, you don't have to use your real name.
How did they get the summons in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. It is a law. There is no way a court. There's no way a judge. I want to sue 100 anonymous users. Yeah, the door's that way.
No, they successfully subpoenaed the information, so somebody thought something was viable there.
Yeah.
How did they
would have to go to Steam to get that information.
Hey, look, if they see that, hey, the Thieves and Grey Mouse have sat there and over the last 2 years have left over 20 fucking comments in this forum about my fucking game, yeah, they can go ahead and...
My defense will be, this game sucks!
Exactly.
Do you want me to demonstrate in the courtroom why and how this game slurps? And I'll bring every Mario and Zelda to be like, look, this is the way shit's supposed to play, and this shit plays like this. This shit sucks. This shit is hard.
I am not defending them, but that's how it happens. So
wait.
Really, we gotta.
The truth doesn't matter anymore. I'm not lying here.
Damn.
Agenda.
Okay, look, this is shit. And this is what this shit compares to. Play it. Go ahead. Try play it. Does it suck? Yes. Arrest my case, Your Honor. We're done here.
This has been Grey Mouse 1.
Obviously, there's a lot we have to say about this, but we're running out of time, so we're going to cut it short here. If you're just some kind, leave comments, hit subscribe, hit like. We are the three middle-aged guys. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Grey Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming, and stop trying to sue and trying to get money. Fuck that. Your game fucking sucks. Deal with that shit. Credits.